Hey, 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 hey. So we're here. I'm not sure how good it sounds, but we're here and we're good. Um, I know you can't see me, and that's fine. That's what I want right now. Um, and we're here. Hi, it's me. It's me. All right. Now I'm gonna go do a couple things up here to get stuff ready. All right. I think we're ready there. I'm gonna get something ready down here. Here we go. Um, the audio's gonna sound a little funky, but that's fine. I might. Can I add something for that? I don't think I can. I don't think I can add anything with what I have right now without paying for something. Anyways, um, yeah, we're here. We're gonna build a map at some point, whenever I decide, frankly. Uh, but that's what we're doing. Here we can switch to the map image. You won't be able to see me and my face, but that's fine because you can hear me. Yes, you should be able to. Yeah, the audio bitrate is bad. I don't know how to change that though. Do I? Can I? Any way for me to change that currently? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there is. That I can see. Maybe here, but I don't think so. Nope. Okay. The audio bitrate's just gonna change every now and then, so at some point you'll be able to hear me, and at some points you won't. I'm gonna try and fix that to the best of my abilities, but I can't promise anything. Can't promise anything, but I'm gonna try. That might be better. Let's see, is that better? Is it better? Can you hear that? A bit, but there's not anything I can do for this now. Yeah. Yeah, nothing I can do with it now. I fixed it as best as I could. I fixed it as best as I could. So now we're here. We have the map maker up. I do have. Oh wait, I can just if I click up here. There we go. And now we're full screen. I have a image in my head of what I want this to look like. So, wait, let me just. Oops, whoops. Here. There we go. Now I have everything good and better. Okay. Okay. So I have an idea in my head what I want things to look like. Whether or not I'll be able to pull that idea out is iffy. Because while this is a pretty good map making software, it also kind of sucks, but it's good enough to do what I want it to do. So it's good enough to be used, right? Yeah. Um, to be completely clear about this, have it. I did have a map at some point. However, it did get lost. So it's not great. Not great that it got lost, but it did. and we're going to have to deal with that. So, yeah. So we're just going to get stuff done for the most part, kind of. If you're wondering, this is the map creator by on Roll for Fantasy, which is an offshoot of the what's it called? The fantasy name generator. It's an offshoot of that, which is pretty cool. So right here, Roll for Fantasy, map creator. I believe it's in tools. So Roll for Fantasy, tools, and map creator right there. And that's how you can get to it. Basically, I don't know. If you watch this, you'll know how things work and whatnot. You'll get a hang of it if you can, and if you don't want to watch it for whatever reason, you can come up here, and then they have instructions for what's going on. So yeah. So I'm gonna get started, because it's been like 8 minutes, and I haven't done anything. So let's get started on this. So the first continent we're going to build is the continent of Fodwex, which I always imagine as having this like Africa shape, which I don't know, that might be bad, right? Is that bad? Possibly. Right? Let's see. But just kind of, I'm sure you can kind of see it, but like kind of this shaped. And by the way, this is oriented horizontally, right? Yeah, I think that's what's going on. It's oriented horizontally. So this up here is the top and this up here is the bottom, because this way I can get it wider. I have it maxed out in width and length, and I have it as far as the width will go, and all fit on one page, essentially. So that's what we're doing. That's what's going on, basically. And actually, Fodwex can be much bigger. So we're going to take off all this. And I mean this as no slight, but God, is this... I don't know. I forgot the word for it. It's not hard to use. It's very easy because you point and click. But it is... I forgot. I keep forgetting what things are called. It's... God. It takes a while to click everything you want to click. No, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Let's just start up. Actually, we're gonna start with next. Yeah, let me get something pulled up here on this other screen that I have. No, I don't want it up there. I mean, it doesn't. It's the wrong thing. So if I click this and then I do that, yeah, that's better. So there. And here, I'm just going to open up the document I have for the world so that I can know what I'm talking about. No, I'm way behind on that. That's on me. That's on me. I thought you guys were like way behind. No, you guys are fine. You're a couple seconds back. This one. All right. Oh god, that's very zoomed in. Yeah, but that's fine. I just need the continents. I have everything else kind of memorized. So I think we're gonna start on the Darnic Kingdom, or actually we're gonna start on Aslernaut because Aslernaut, really hard to not slur that. And I mean say it quickly and clearly, not anything bad. It's But Astronaut is all just up on top. It's all up here. So yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Was this making it? I think I moved everything enough to that so that it's not bad. All right. So Astronaut, we're just gonna make a big old line here, and everything else is kind of just do what you feels right. Like, I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but I do know it's looking like something. Up to current. My thing keeps lagging behind, so we're just building through this. I do see that someone has come in. If you want to talk, that's cool. If you don't, also cool. I'm not pressuring you in any way, but man, would it be nice to talk to someone and not just myself? You know, that would be pretty darn awesome. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Um, yeah, there's not much to say. I guess here, if since we're here, we can expand on Astronaut. There's not, I'm going to be honest, there's not a ton on the continents themselves, mostly just on the other stuff, on the stuff within the continents. That's mainly what's cool. Um, Sorry. Let's see. Let's just move that over there. I'm just organizing some things so that they look better. Uh, for me, not for you guys, but mainly for me. But yeah, we're just building away at Astronaut. It's just, I don't know, it's cool because it's a big old ice continent like Antarctica, but fantasy. So let's see, we're looking down here. Astronaut is the most technologically advanced continent, which is, I think, technically playing into stereotype in that it's, a really cold continent that's really advanced, and that's what's going on there. Uh, oh, I'm way down near the bottom. I did not realize. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is at a 5. So we're gonna just add 2 there. That seems good. Um, and we're not gonna do anything up here. Maybe we. I think yeah. I think I'm moving this over a bit. Oops. Pink. Yeah. Um, so I think technically it would be considered a stereotype for the most technologically advanced continent to be an ice continent. I think not like a bad stereotype, but just something that happens often, which is what a stereotype is. Uh, so I think that's that. Uh, yeah, not much else to say about it because I guess I have a couple other things. The Spellrot Plague. The Spellrot Plague started here, which is, I suppose, exactly what it sounds like, in that it's a rot. It's a plague that happened to spellcasters where they got sick and died. So that's what happened to them. They died. That was a while ago. Let's see. Where was it? How long ago was it? I'm gonna make that better. And made it only slightly better. That I said to fit. It doesn't fit. All right, whatever. We're here. We're here. Spellrot. 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 Let's see. 92 to 81, like 11 centuries ago, the Spellrot plague happened. 11 centuries. So, that's cool. That's Astronaut. I'm gonna wait to fill it in until I'm gonna wait to fill it in until we fill in everything else. I actually don't need these regular controls here just yet. These can go up, these can go up, these can go up, and these can go up. And I actually don't need these either right now. The Darnic Kingdom. I think that's what we're doing next. So let's get to the Darnic Kingdom, and so I can have a couple talking points on that. And by a couple, I do truly mean a couple, because there's not a ton. The Darnic Kingdom. It's the least technologically advanced continent, despite being, it's right here, and it kind of spans this way. So despite being, I think, the closest continent to Aslarnot, the most technologically advanced, it is very technologically slow. It ain't got a ton going for it. It's very basic medieval fantasy. The Darnic Kingdom is. It's ruled by a monarchy, as one might assume from, someplace known as a kingdom. That's kind of what most would probably assume. I think we're actually going to add 1 point out there. Yeah. Now we're going to do some of this. I haven't said much about the Darnic Kingdom other than it's a monarchy, which most people would guess inherently based off the name, and that it's not very technologically advanced, which is, I guess, a kind of fun fact, but only kind of. And before you say anything about me not filling in these pieces right here, I'm going to have a little land bridge to it. So it'll be connected via small little land bridge. I'm very cold back here, and I don't have a sweater or anything. So yeah, but that's a me problem. And I'm not gonna stop the stream to go get one. Anyway, so let's go on to Fodwex. I guess we should get down to Fodwex so we can see some things here. Oh, and I should, since I have so little, I might as well just mention that the Darnic Kingdom has 16 baronies and 1 main kingdom. So, pretty cool if I do say so myself. 4. There's that. I'm going to do that. Some of this. Kind of just looking like that, maybe. There. Over here. So let's talk about Fodwex. And I guess maybe I should save some things for when we have to come back and do the sides, because this is just filling in like the main part. We have to fill in the side. We have to do the sides, and then ideally we'd also do the decoration parts. So, well, here, let me just. I have another map using this. So let me just get that up, and we can see what I'm talking about that way. No, not that one. Not that folder. This one. Yeah. No. Great. I have to do this way. So here. This is a map of Mythlantis, as you can see. I just pointed to it. You don't know that I pointed to it, but Mythlantis. So you can see like it has its main body, but it does have the edges, and then there's also the fillings on it. So like the castles, the houses, the forests. There's that ship up north, the whirlpool out west, and islands and stuff. So we're just going to do, ideally, we'd be able to do all that. I don't know if we're going to be able to, but that's ideally what we do. So, yeah. And I'm just going to check on something. Right. Alrighty. Alrighty. Yeah. So that was Fodwex. I didn't say anything about Fodwex, actually. Yeah. So Fodwex is the home continent of the Divine Wizard, which doesn't mean anything to you guys, or anyone else, frankly, other than me. Only I know who the Divine Wizard is. All right. Next, we're going to Dynacurd. That's actually just below Fodwex there. Yeah, Dynacurd. Dynacurd, I want in like this region-ish, I suppose. Yeah. Dynacurd, I imagine, is just being a kind of big, bulky continent. Like this, right? Yeah. Yeah, kind of like this. No, it's kind of bird-shaped. I didn't notice that as I was making it. I just noticed it afterwards. Yeah, kind of bird-shaped. Let's see. No, nothing going on down there. I was looking at analytics and stuff, not looking at anything else. Yeah, I don't know. Dynacurd. Let's see what's going on with Dynacurd. Dynacurd is the, I suppose, religious capital of the world. So, you know, all the gods stuff is there. So, you know, ooh, actually, I can't do that because you can't. There, that works. That, yeah, that works. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let's see. Next, is that? Can I move it over? I can move it over and down. That's fine. Right? So it'd be like that. So it would be like that. Actually, no. I can just move it back. Yeah. We're just gonna go move it one back. And then take off this, all this. Yep. Yeah. All right. So that occurred. And now we're on to the four Taurens, which, you know, and here, we'll go up here. Here. That has one thing listed about each of the continents. All right. So the thing is, the four Taurens they were all one great Tauren at some point, and then they were split. So they're all going to have a identical design. Something like this, I'm thinking. Just busted that out. You know? Maybe that? That look cool, you think? You think that look cool, maybe? You have to do it like this. I have to move it up one, actually, over here. Oop, that's supposed to be there. Is it only up one? It can only be up one. That's fine. Yeah. Maybe. Does this need to move again? Actually, I think that, yeah, that sucks. I have to move it again. At least, is that 4 up? That's pain. That sucks a lot. Whatever. This one can move back 1, but only 1. Uh-huh. Yeah, that works. This is actually also going to move back 1. And I apologize if you can't see what I'm doing because there's something in the way somewhere. But it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. Uh, yeah. This also needs to be moved back 2, let's say. Let's actually say 2. Let's move it back 2. Which means we have to take 2 off the bottom here. Yeah. And then I fully don't remember what shape this was in. I think all that was gone, and it looked like that. I think. Is that right? I think that's right. Which means, how far back can I move this? So we need this spot open. Yeah, and that'll leave everything else open. Means 3. Is 3 enough? I don't know if 3 is enough. This can move back 3. These 2 can both just get 3 and then have 3 shaven off the bottom, top, whatever you want to call it. Shave 3 off there, add 3 up here, add 3 up here, and take 3 off down here. Wow, that's, yeah. No, that doesn't work there. That doesn't either. That does, I suppose. Yeah. 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 If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I will answer them to the best of my ability, which means, I don't know, probably good. I think I did some good world building before I made this map. I think. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. Who knows? Ooh. We actually need 2 more spots. Ugh, God. Despite making this as big as I could, it did not make it big enough. This can move back 1, which means this can move over 1. Oops. Like that. Which means this can also move over 1. Which doesn't do anything other than make it kind of smaller for me. I'm looking and I'm thinking, and there's not. Dynacurd's gonna have to shrink some to make this look, to make it work and fit. Gosh, it's gonna have to shrink a lot. And unless I might have made things too big. I might have made things too big. That's fine. That's fine. We can adapt and improvise. I hope you can see now why it's so. I keep forgetting the word. I'm gonna look it up. We're looking up the word. Annoying synonym. That should get me what I want. Maybe not. It did not. I don't remember what it was, and as such, I cannot say it because I don't remember. Yeah. So Dynacurd. I guess since we're back, I already let's see. I said Danakhurd was the religious capital of the world. So, as such, for being the religious capital, it has lots of those temples. It has lots of temples in it. So there's some cool temples in Danakhurd to all of the gods. I think I have 16 gods. Is that right? 16 gods. This is such a long document. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 gods. Yeah. Yeah, so that's that. Actually, we can make this a bit taller. That look any good? You think? I think that looks decent. Decent and good enough. Yeah. And then we also need this next one over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. Shit. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. The four torrents. So let's see. And just a reminder, this is going, here. No, it doesn't make sense to do it like that. Yeah. So as a reminder, this map is being built horizontally. So this is north, this is south, this is east. So north, east, south, and west Tauren, right? So they're just rotated once clockwise, rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Yeah. But now we have all of these filled in, which means we can fill them all up. So now they're all filled up. And now, what we get to do? We get to re-click all of those squares that we just clicked. And then we can get onto the map. Unfortunately, there's not just a button that says like deselect all. Which would be, if I could add one thing to this, I think it would be a little button over here on regular controls that just said deselect all. That would be great. It would be, actually, does this deselect all? Does it? It's going to turn the grid off up here, and it does not. Whatever. That needs to be gone. Shit. We're going to have to wait for that. Oh, wait. We can do that, and then we can deselect that, and then do that. And there we go. There's everything back. That's everything back to the way it was. To the way it was and to the way it should be. Yeah. 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 I can see that there's someone in chat or watching, and obviously don't feel pressured to say anything if you don't want to. If you just want to lurk, that's fine. It would be really nice to not have to keep talking with nothing to go on. So if you have any questions about the world, like, if you want to know who the Divine Wizard is, not why the continents are here, because they're here because I said they were here, not why the Taurens were split because I decided it would be funny to have, because you know how we have North and South Dakota? I thought it would be funny to have North, South, East, and West something. So that's how I decided on the Taurens. And then I decided, they should just be split. They should all have been one continent, and now they're not. And I have not yet decided a reason for why that has happened. So, again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But also, don't feel pressured to say anything if you don't want to. It would just be really nice to say anything pertaining to a question and not just talk to myself. That would be just great. But anyways, I think you're here. You know what? You're here. Do you want to pick what continent we should do? Just pick like 1 through 8, and I have a list of those in. I have a list of the continents in that order. So if you just pick something 1 through 8, we can just do that one. We can do the sides of that one, and I'll do the tops afterwards. Just in case you weren't here for it. Let me just pull this up again. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it as is because these are bad unless you're playing like Minecraft, in which case they're still bad because they're so blocky. Let's just get this up. And here, you can see they have all the sides and they have like tops and they have like, I'm going to say toppings because that sounds decent enough. But like they have their like the trees, the forests, the castles, the towns, the mountains, the lakes. We're in the islands and the whirlpool and the pirate ship. We're gonna do all of that afterwards. Maybe if we have time. I'm thinking. I started this really late. It's 38 minutes in, 11:22. Maybe we'll stop this at like 1. I'm thinking 1. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So if you have, like, we should do continent number 3. We can do continent number 3. But yeah. And then we can talk about continent number 3. But that's only if you want to pick, and if you don't, then, I'll just work on Fodwex. So I guess you could pick like 7, because that's Fodwex. So, let's say 5 seconds, and then I'm just going to work on Fodwex. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Fodwex it is. And actually, I've decided against that already. What we're going to do is we're just going to go down, up and down, do the sides, the inward corners, the outward corners, not corners. And we're going to do stuff like that. The thing is, I just can't talk about the continents that way. So, you have fun, I suppose. Yeah. Let's just start out with something normal like that. Then do something like that. Actually, I've changed again. We're just going to do Fodwex, and I'm going to talk about Fodwex. So let's go back down to Fodwex. God, this is such a long document, and I don't mean that to just like stroke my dick or something. I'm like, oh, I'm so good at world building. I made such a cool long document of world stuff. It's so long, and that's kind of bad. It's not great, I would love to actually have this full screen, but then I couldn't see chat. So we're not going to do that. Anyways, I think that one seems cool. Oh wait, I decided we're just doing Fodwex. Right. Fodwex, outward corners. I think this is top right. Hell yeah. Fodwex. Fodwex is the creation spot of the Twilight Vale. So that's cool. The Twilight Vale was created here. That's what I have written down. We're gonna go inward corner, the top right. The Twilight Vale is just, it's actually something from Monkey DM. If you know them, they made it's like a 10th level spell called Twilight Vale, and I just decided, hey, that's cool. I'm just gonna put it into my world, and that's what we're gonna do. So if you don't care, I plagiarized him. I stole. I'm a bad person. If you consider him putting free use content out and me using that free use content, me stealing and being a bad person, I don't, but who knows? Maybe you do. And if you do, then cool. Yeah. Fodwex, continent of the Divine Wizard. Already said that. That was pretty cool. Wait, let me just check something. I don't, yeah, it's not. All right. I just had to check something real quick, and it turns out I was right and that it wasn't anything. All right. Alrighty. Yeah. Once again, kind of boring talking to myself, but, you know, it is what it is. I'll do what I'll do, and that will be talking to myself sometimes. That's something I gotta deal with. Yeah. I guess if you want to say something like not about the world, if you want to ask like me a question, you can do that. I'd definitely do something like that. I'd answer that. As long as it's not like my social security number. As long as that's not what you want. But yeah. Which one of these should we use? We gotta make sure it lines up. So something like this. No, not that one. This. So we got two little islands next to each other. How would that work? I don't know. But is it kind of cool? Kind of. Not really. But it's there. So that's cool. That's what's cool about it. Don't. Sure. That one works. Yeah. I don't know. What else is going on with Fodwex? It has a society based off adventurers. There's your Arthur Eggfort. Arthur Eggfort's School for Adventurers. Or whatever it's called. But it's not a school. It's just like the military, I think. I guess. That's it's just the military there. That's basically all I have written down for the whole continent of Fodwex as an entirety. But we can go into the landmarks of Fodwex. So, you could do that if I feel like it. But maybe I don't. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. That. Yeah, so bottom right. I don't know. That one. Next. Shit. Outward corners, bottom right. Let's go with that. That's good. That's cool. That's good. That's good and cool and good and all. Yeah. Sides, bottom. We're on the bottom. We're gonna just do a little that. Just definitely gonna do a little that. Do. Just gonna check something else real quick. And nope. All right. No, this is bottom left. We're in the middle, so we're gonna want like kind of like this. That looks cool. Kinda. Inward corners, bottom left, because they line up. So that's cool. That's cool, and that's what you can do. Let's go back actually to this. Fodwex. The first thing I have written down is the Forest of Dornix. I go much more into detail with these, so I might be able to do like one while I'm filling out the sides, because I still have to worry about what I'm doing on the sides. But the Forest of Dornix, from what I can remember from not looking at it, sides. It's a forest of the elder trees, which are pretty cool. They're big old Trant guys that are almost all extinct. Because fuck the Trants. I hate Trants. No. I don't know. I just wanted, they were just cool that way. Right? They had some lore, some allure to them, which is cool. We're at the top here. We're gonna want this because that's cool. Let's see. When so according to the people of Fodwex and me, because I am the people of Fodwex in all conceivable manners, because I'm God in this world. The people of Fodwex believe that the moon shining down through the leaves grants you special powers, which I don't know, may or may not be true. Who knows? Fodwex actually, if you care enough to check it out, after this, I have a video on my YouTube channel. I have an actual video. I don't have to say on my YouTube channel because you're here. You're on my YouTube channel. I do have a video going over Fodwex. It's called shit. What's it called? Shit. Shit. Whatever. I don't know. It's the first actual video there. If you want to go check that out. You gotta readjust so I'm more comfortable. It's like Folklore of Jorndith 101 Fodwex. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. It has done absolutely nothing for me. I think like 7 people have watched it or something, which is, it's fine. The amount of subscribers I have, that's great. I don't think I put, frankly, so much more than 7 people's worth of effort into it. And by that, I mean, I'm bad at everything. I'm bad at editing. So it's not like a great YouTube video, but it's, it would be great in like 2012. Unfortunately, we're not in 2012. So it's just like a subpar kind of video. I am going to be, I think tomorrow, actually, I will be filming the next video I plan to put up, which is going to be different from the 2 that are already up. If you were here for the one significant part of the stream where I announced it, not this stream, not last stream, but the stream before last, I announced it there. And I don't think anyone has seen it because it's so far into the video. But I will be recording that tomorrow, I think. I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to be home alone, so I think I'm going to do that. It's basically, if you've seen NADPOD, Trinivale specifically, it is a travel guide to Trinivale based off the information we know about Trinivale, which is all love to Caldwell, not much. We don't know anything about the bigger moon, which is apparently the more important moon. So, not great for me to talk about, the moon when we don't know anything about the moon. But, it's whatever. I've found a way to not talk about it within the universe. But yeah. If anyone has any questions about the world, I didn't want that one. I wanted that one. Feel free to ask. I will answer them to the best of my abilities. Yeah, that's basically the whole spiel that I say when I notice that there's anyone in the stream. But gotta do what you gotta do, right? So what do you guys think? Which one of these? I'm thinking this one. Oops, there. All right, up Ooh, no, I didn't want that. That doesn't fit. Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I guess we could talk about FODWEX here. Um, let's see. I've added something since the video that I made on FODWEX, which is bound to happen, obviously. Which is also why I'm thinking of rebooting that series, which has 2 episodes in it. Because I think, because that's another reason why I'm doing this map now. Because I think I have most of the landmarks done for all these, and I just have to do the timeline. I think I just have to do the timeline, so that's what I'm gonna do. I have to do the timeline, which can be multiple videos in its own right. But basically, I think I'm done with landmarks, which is why I'm doing this map, so I can put all the landmarks in it. And also, so at some point, that series will maybe be coming back. Maybe, maybe not. If you liked it, if you watched any of it, which you may have. You didn't watch the second episode. I'm pretty sure. I don't think anyone's watched the second episode. Let's check. This is derailing far from the point of the stream, but I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Let's see. I think. Just like scroll over here. Yep. All right. It's whatever. It's whatever. We're on. Actually, we just finished FODWEX. So let's get into the Darnik Kingdom, which I don't know. I would change the name, but I have 10 pages on this document of this world, and I'm not going to change the name of any of the continents that I've already put so much time into because I don't want to. I don't want to. And you can't make me. Anyways, the Darnik Kingdom. I talked about it earlier, but I don't think anyone who was there for it, and if anyone was, they're gone now. So it's the least technologically advanced, which is saying something since it's next to Aslarnaut, which is right here, which is the most technologically advanced. Right here. But it's basically a pretty classic medieval fantasy. It's ruled by a monarchy, hence the name kingdom, right? It's got 16 baronies and 1 main kingdom. So that's what's going on there in the Darnik Kingdom. That's all I have on the whole of the continent because I don't write a ton about them that way. Yeah. Sorry, it's a fine world building, world creating thing. It's just also very tedious. Tedious is the word I was looking for before in the stream. If you're watching this through the VOD and you are just like screaming at your computer, oh my gosh, it's tedious. Yes, I did say baronies, kind of like a fantasy high. If that's what you're referencing by that, baronies. Also, hey Pisukat, I think I'm assuming that's how you say your name. Yeah, I'm very cold. I don't have a good microphone, and I have a clogged nose. So if you can't hear me great, I would assume it's one of those 3 reasons. But yes, the baronies that are ruled by barons. Because that's what that word means, right? You have a kingdom that's ruled by a king, and the baronies, which are ruled by barons. But yeah. If you have any questions, I can maybe fill you in on them, depending on. That's fine. I also talk. not really quickly, but also not greatly. I don't talk great. A real weird talker. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're just if you are curious, this is the map creator by Roll for Fantasy. I'm not like sponsored or anything, but I don't know. I think I should be disclosing what I'm using in case anyone else wants to use it. Let's go. No, that one actually doesn't work. We need to be way up higher. Way up higher. That one? That looks good. Does it? Yeah, it looks good. All right. Outward corners. Top right. Top right. We're good. Let's see, we're gonna go with that one. Sides right. I'm gonna do this. 180 mirror. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Outward corners. Bottom right. That looks cool. Inward corners. Again, bottom right. I'm sorry if you get annoyed by me saying what I'm doing. I actually should be talking about the Darnik Kingdom because, that's what we're on, and that would make sense. But I'm just doing it because it helps me work. The Darnik Kingdom. Let's go over the Ancient Abyss. It's a big old cliff at the edge. I think it's going to be like right here, somewhere along this coastline. Somewhere along this coastline will be the Ancient Abyss, big old cliff, big old tree sits on top of it. The tree is actually an elder tree. If you were here when I was talking about the Forest of Dornix, the Forest of Dornix is a big old graveyard, essentially, of the elder trees. The one elder tree that lives in, or that carcass body, I don't know, that the body sits on the edge of the Ancient Abyss. It's a massive tree. It casts like an eternal shadow. And why? Because I thought that was cool, and it's cool. But yeah. Um. No, not this one. Yeah. There's also a big old castle on it, ruined castle. So we'll have to do stuff with that. We'll have to do some ruined castle stuff. Luckily, they have a ruined castle here, so I can just plop that down. But yeah, Oops. No. All right. I also have to kind of crane my neck because it's more comfortable. I don't know. I think it's more comfortable. Maybe it's not. I don't. I think it is right now. Not that any of you can see me, but you know. Uh, yeah, yeah. Where was I with the Ancient Abyss? Big old castle ruin there. There's a kobold warlord named Kyrgyz. He had cybernetic enhancements in there. If you came from the Reddit, that's where all the that's what the twist is, kind of. There's cybernetic enhancements in this fantasy world because I thought it would be cool. And frankly, I was right. It's hella cool. It's awesome, in fact. But yeah, he had cybernetic enhancements and he went crazy, and now he's not crazy somehow. if you're curious, I am. This is for a D&D game that I am not running currently, but hope to run at some point. Uh, oops. I hope to run at some point. So, yeah. Um, I don't know. Oh, right. So the reason I mentioned it was D&D is because I was going to put in cyberpunk rules for cybernetics because I thought it would be cool. But then I decided that's frankly way too much work and I don't want to do it. So here we are. He's overcome the cybernetic enhancements. And wait, that's a great question, Crossfire. Astronauts really technologically advanced, and they do it with magic and other stuff. Uh, I don't have to know everything as long as I can bullshit something, right? That's like the main thing of world building. Don't know everything, but bullshit some things. Right. That's why. That's why. That's right. That's right. That's right. Uh, yeah. 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 What the fuck am I talking about? I don't know. Where was I? Gills was once a crazed lunatic through all types of cybernetic enhancement. He has since gained his intelligence back through luck and alchemical experience. Oh, I do know how he did it. Rad. Much better than me not knowing, I think. Maybe. Maybe that goes against the main point that I just said, but maybe it doesn't, and I'm fucking awesome. Who knows? Uh, yeah. 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 This needs to come down with me. Right. All right. This is bottom left. No. Top right. Yes. Awesome. We're gonna want right that one. That one's good. Fuck. I keep talking about things and then stop talking about things because I get really entranced in this because it's kind of a pain in the ass. Uh anyways, where was I? Kyrgyz has defeated multiple ancient dragons into submission, and they've worked for him now because he's fucking badass. I did have a character sheet written out for him. He was a level 30 character because he was supposed to be like a BBEG. But now I've decided I don't want him to. I don't want him to be that. So he's not. He's stopped being the BBEG, which is why he's calmed down from his crazed lunatic ways. Because I decided it would be better that way. Because then there's no reason for him to go out. He's done everything he wants to do, and now he's just living a cool, peaceful life out in his abandoned castle. What was I going through? Managed to defeat multiple ancient dragons. He was friends with the only remaining Elder Tree. That's where that Elder Tree carcass, I suppose, that's what I'm saying, came from. If you were here for that, uh, that's where that came from, which is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome, dope, awesome, cool stuff, and stuff like that. Where, God, that one works. If you have any other questions about anything, like not don't ask me about trade routes because stuff happens somewhere and that stuff's going on. So I don't have any of that written out because I decided I didn't want to, so I didn't. I'll come up with stuff when stuff gets asked. That's basically what I'll do. So what the fuck am I doing? That one works. That's cool. Next, where was I? Uh, people have been invited to study the architecture of the keep because Kyrgyzstan isn't crazy anymore. And that's basically a reason for essentially my DMPC, but also he isn't going to show up a ton because he's too damn important. Because he's also the narrator of my video series, Jorndith Folklore. That's why he has information on it, because Kyrgyz is calm down, and that's just me saying that he can't go there. So that's why that's happened. The Gloomspire Chambers. That's the next thing I have written down for the Garnet Kingdom. The Gloomspire Chambers are some tunnels and catacombs underneath the entire continent. How do they fit under the entire continent? Because they do. But basically, yeah, it's just shit. Fuck. It's just crypts underneath the continent and kingdom, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they hold the monarchs as would be expected of a crypt. Yeah. But yeah, they do that like catacombs should do, you know. However, recently, some zombies and shit have been popping up, so, they stopped using that. They said, hey, you're zombies and we're not fucking with you, so we're going to close off this tomb and never enter it again. Basically, that's kind of what they said. So, monarchs, their families, and whatnot. Yeah. I guess here I have something else written down right after. The monarchs that had these caves built also had it in mind to be a place of worship. However, over the years, that has stopped happening, and they can tell this because there are runes being carved into the walls that have been deciphered to mean the praising of the goddess. I believe they're goddess, right? Fuck. Where is it? What the fuck is their name? Shit. Yadrith. Yadrith, the god of pain. Man. So it's catacombs and worship. Hell yeah. I was about to say mixing church and state, but it's not really. It's kind of mixing church and death, if anything. But yeah. Where the fuck was I? I'm an astronaut right now. That's why. Whoops. Wasn't on the wrong page. Gloomspire Chambers. Currently in the world, they don't know why Yadrith was being worshipped specifically, especially since Yadrith is known as the god of pain. Basically, it's just kind of because, well, at least, I don't know. One of the reasons, it's one of the reasons I'm about to say. Which one of them? Who fucking knows? Let's see. Pain is something you have to go through to get to a better place. Pain of their enemies in exchange for the monarchs, right? So you give up, like, oh, this guy's dead, you can do whatever you want with him, and then, but as long as you just promise to please, dear God man, bring pain upon our enemies, right? I'm thinking it's that one. I think that's one of the ones I want. That's the one that's happening because that's what I said just now. But they also maybe think that it's an integral part of life, and worshiping her when someone dies is a way of giving back. Maybe that one didn't really come from anything. I don't know, I wanted a third reason. Kind of. So that's what I made. That's the third reason. Then there's some hidden passageways. There's some hidden passageways in there. I'm very cold. And I don't have anything to warm me up. Is there? There's not a blanket back here, is there? There is not. That's up. Well, guess I'm just gonna be cold then. Anyways, do you have any questions about the Gloomspire Chambers, or I guess the Ancient Abyss also? But, and I kind of read everything that's there, but if you ask any question, maybe I can bullshit a response and that'll become world building. That's what world building is, right? Bullshitting responses till you get enough responses to make something, I think. I don't know. I think this looks good. I think we're good. I'm caught up, yeah. All right. That, do I have that anywhere? That's a very unique shape. If it's just like, I don't know, like a flat piece of land, I won't double check, but that one's very unique. Anyways, I don't think, I'm gonna assume it's been long enough and you don't have any questions about the Gloomspire Chambers. Either that or you're writing a really long question and I'll answer that when that comes up. But next, because God, this is such a big fucking continent and it's really a really intricate shape too. It's gonna take a long time. The abandoned Rosewood Manor. It's a big old mansion, as one might expect from the word manor. It's not inhabited, as one might expect from the word abandoned. It's the family that lived there were called the Rosewoods, as one might expect from the name Rosewood. But that's basically that. I mean, that's not all I have written down, but it's a big old abandoned mansion. You can tell just by looking at even the abandoned mansion that how wealthy the family that lived there was. It's overrun with vines, flowers, trees, other natural items. What does that mean? Fucking more leaves and shit. Yeah. The Rosewood family were very. What the fuck did I say they were? Famous for their ecomancy, the magic of controlling nature. They're famous for ecomancy or controlling nature and other things like that. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. What else do I have written down? Looking closely at any of the rooms will give you an idea of how splendorous the estate was in the past. Yes, the mansion is in the same kingdom. It's in, I think, one of the baronies, maybe. I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with it's in one of the baronies. It's just like on the, I don't know. It's weird because I have it written down as like a landmark, but also it doesn't make sense for it to be a landmark other than a landmark in like one town, because there's no way they just like live. I guess they could live out on their own. They're ecomancers and whatnot. So yeah, I think they live out on their own using their ecomancy to help them fend for themselves, and they're very rich from selling the plants that they make with their magic. I think that's what's going on. And now I can just say it's out in the fucking boonies somewhere. Yeah. So that's cool. That's rad for me. Woo, world building on the spot. Hell yeah. Thank you, Pisu Cat, for helping me do that. I think that's all I have for the Rosewood Manor. I'm getting very close to the end of what I have written down about the Darnik Kingdom, and I think maybe we can do it in the time we have left for this. Maybe. if we take a long time talking about the Mossback Peaks and the Darnik Colossus, if you have a preference, you can say, do you want to learn about the Mossback Peaks, which are some cool mountains, or the Darnik Colossus, which is a cool statue? So, your choice. I'll just give you a couple seconds to pick that. Don't. Well, I decide what we're doing in the on the map. And if you don't care, you can just say you don't care, and I'll just pick one of them. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but you know, if you want, you can. If you don't feel pressured. Let's go that. That looks cool. Let's see. I can pick red. Let's do the Mossback Peaks because they're higher. So I obviously care about them more, which is a lie. That's the ways I had them written down. The Mossback Peaks, they're the mountains are remains of a Mossback Titan that died long ago. It's the Mossback Titans specifically because I have that written down here because otherwise, fucking, I don't even know what it's gonna mean. Mossback Titans are a subsection, I think, is what we would call it maybe, of Mossback Beasts or Mossbacks for short. Obviously, Mossback Titans are way bigger. Right? Yes, that's what I have written down. Mossbacks, the beasts, the small normal ones are like pig-sized ish, like pig-sized. So you can think of like some cool pigs with maybe some rocks growing out of them or like rock-like fur. They just have spines like a Spinosaurus. I think that's what they're called. And if I'm wrong, and you know that I'm wrong, you can feel free to correct me. That one. Yeah, I did that one there. All right. I'm just making sure I don't repeat anything too often. The parts here. Let's see. The parts from this skeleton have been used to advance the Darnik Kingdom's alchemical prowess, which I guess I haven't said, but the Darnik Kingdom is very specialized. Every kingdom has, or every continent has a specialty. For Aslarnot, it's science. For the Darnik Kingdom, it's alchemy, which is technically science, but a Mossback. A Mossback is a fictional creature that I came up with. It's a fairly pig-shaped. It's kind of a pig with some extra things, right? It has like a kind of a spine of a Spinosaurus, but also have I said anything else about it? No, I haven't. It has like the spine of a Spinosaurus, kind of, but like a pig, how a pig would, I guess. So the fur kind of makes a triangular-ish shape on top of it. I can't draw, so I can't draw you a picture of what it's supposed to look like. But like, they have like a really wide mohawk on their backs. That they, and that's kind of, and they're more grayish in tone. And also in the night, I think if I if I've written this down correctly, no, I was wrong about what I was about to say, so I won't say it. It was basically just that they're bioluminescent, but they're not. When they die, they gain. Their bones are very good for the environment, and they grow some moss on there, and their bones also very stone-like in nature or in appearance, not in nature, in appearance, very stone-like in appearance. Uh, they grow bioluminescent moss on them. They themselves are not bioluminescent, but the moss they grow off their bones is. Uh, and mossback titans are just fucking huge. They're just like mountain-sized, kind of. Hence the name Mossback Peaks, because it was a dead one and now it's peak, right? I am so cold, but I refuse to leave. What's it? What do I have? What else do I have? So obviously one died here and created the Mossback Peaks. And the animals that what was that? Something appeared on my phone and I don't know what it was. I don't remember. What was I on? What was I talking about? A Mossback Titan died. Moss is growing over it, has grown over it. It has essentially covered the skeleton at this point. Yeah. Wait, what the fuck am I talking about? Govern? I don't know what the fuck I'm going on about. I wrote this really confusingly, or I'm having a really hard time talking about it on the spot. Possibly both. Probably both, in fact. Let's go under this way. Okay. The skeleton's covered in moss. And what the fuck? And animals that live on the skeleton, because it is now mountains, have evolved to have semi-bioluminescent pelts, furs, hides, whatever you want to call it, to camouflage themselves. Because that's what things would do. They would evolve to live better. I don't know what's going on with me today. Normally, I love talking about my world, and it's rad because I make rad worlds. Also, let me just check something real quick. There are other Mossback Titans. However, they're very rare to come across because it's like a genetic disorder, I want to say. Yeah, it's like a genetic disorder, but yeah, it's a genetic disorder that happens on a large scale. Like if you've seen One Piece and you've seen Big Mom's backstory, like Big Mom's parents are normal people, and Big Mom, as like a 4-year-old, is like over 3 meters tall. So it's the same thing with Mossback Titans. They come from normal Mossbacks. However, very rarely, like I would say once in a millennium, maybe, which actually I think that makes a 9 at this point. Whatever. Once in a millennium, or maybe like 10 millennia, a Mossback Titan is born, and they basically have stuff like they're just kind of big pigs, kind of big sturdy pigs. That's all they really are, if you want to boil it down to the most basic elements. Which I kind of do. It's very fun to just boil things down. But yes, also the remains of this Titan have helped the Darnik Kingdom in their alchemical prowess, mainly one that grows off of the moss that forms after they die which is known as the Behemoth's Tear, which is only created from mossback titans, hence the name Behemoth. God, I've been talking so long. I need a drink of water, so just excuse me. I don't have a ton of water, so I'm sorry if you can hear all the ice clinking down the water bottle. Where was I? The Behemoth's Tear, which grows on the moss that grows off the skeleton of a specifically mossback titan. And yeah, that's kind of it. I don't have a ton. Yes, this one. All right. Any other questions about mossback peaks before we before we move on to the next stuff? And obviously, if we go on to the next stuff, you can still ask questions. I'm fine answering questions. Wait, you saw one before? I don't think I have. No, I haven't read. But I'm just going to finish up this in almost silence because it's very tedious to do. All right. So I'm thinking we're going to move on to Astronaut. So, if you have any questions about the mossback type peaks, you can still ask them. I'll still answer them. But just know we will be in Astronaut. God, it's such a... Why did I name it that? Whatever. It's fine. I'm not going to change it. All right. Astronaut. Yeah. All right. Let's start up here. This is an outward corner. So I'll just get started in case... I'll just get started talking on Astronaut in case you don't have any questions. If you do, I'll just stop my talk and try and remember where I left off. Astronaut is basically... It's just a big old continent of ice, half ice, half land, and I guess 100% land, but there's just ice on top of the land that makes it unlivable. I guess that makes sense. That's what makes the most sense. Something's happening, and I don't know what it is. I think it's just my screen moving. All right. Anyways. Yeah. Spell rot started here. Spell rot's just a big old plague that killed lots of people. Mainly, people who could cast spells. Hence the name spell rot. I actually have a blade magic weapon. A cool little... Yeah, it's got like an ice cap. And I think I'm gonna use, because you can go up here, you can go to in water, you can just pick up some after it loads. You can pick up these rivers and maneuver them around a bit. You'll see when we get there, if we get there. But yeah. And I'm gonna mark off the ice cap with the rivers. But yeah, it's got a big old ice cap. Most technologically advanced. Furthest north, that's the North Pole. I have that in parentheses. We're on outward corners. Yeah. The Ruins of Elf. The Ruins of Elf is the first thing I've got written down here. So I think that was the first thing I made. That might have been one of the first locations I made for this world, I think. Yeah. It's frozen ruins in the frozen wastelands of Aslarnaut. Um, so just basically real bad to be in. Tens of, yeah, that's right. They've been dated back tens of thousands of years ago. So before all the history I have, way before that, because I decided it is. But yeah, I'm just I'm not great at multitasking. They're deeply and innately magical. Lots of magic just sewn into these ruins. And harm anything that uses additional magic on it. So, just real magic and doesn't want it to change any type of the magic that it has. Why did people settle there? That's a great question. It wasn't as cold, maybe. I think that's what I'm going to go with. If I say that confidently enough, then it makes it true. If I say it in any way, actually, it makes it true because it's my world. I think maybe it was. I think it's maybe like on the edge of the. I don't have it down. I don't know why I'm motioning to it. It's on like the edge of the ice cap, so it is frozen over. Hence, them being frozen. But it was. Why did they build it on the edge of the ice cap? Also, I don't know. That's a great question, and that I made up myself just now. But basically, because that's why I decided. But yeah. They settled there because there were some cool minerals in the ground, and they wanted those rocks. One of those rocks. So they settled there, mined those rocks. I think that's what happened. And that's why stuff went down and why it's all frozen over, because they got more frozen. What else do I have? Along with the magic. Yep. No ice, good rocks. That's basically it. Yeah. Along with the magic embedded in the stones, there's also cryptic messages carved into the stones. Despite the harsh conditions of the wastelands, Astronaut, the wastelands of Astronaut, the ruins are, so because of magic and all that. Yeah. No, I didn't. There's some cryptic messages. Who knows what they say? I know what they say, and I don't know. Fuck it. I might as well just say it. They don't mean shit. They mean jack shit, because not everything is written to be deciphered later. Some things are just there to be there, and that's fine. So things are there to be there. They look cool, and they were written just cause. But yeah, I'm probably greatly misinformed about this, but in like a mini Minuteman video, which great YouTuber, you should go watch him if you care about like history or geography and stuff like that. He basically just said it was something like, I don't live my life to I don't live my life for people 10,000 years in the future. So why the fuck did these people do it? Why the fuck would these people do it? So, it was something like that. And if it wasn't, then, I don't know. He said something like that. And I don't care to go find out whether or not I was right or wrong. But it basically means nothing. All these things. So, I actually love doing that. I love giving red herrings that don't mean shit. There's another thing I'm doing. It's probably actually going to be next stream. The next stream I decide to do this. I'm going to talk about something similar, which I guess I can just say now. Up here in Fairbanks, somewhere, it's off the coast somewhere. There's a cool pillar and a cool singular pillar on a near flat beach that is, and it's got like some carvings written into it. No one's been able to decipher them because they were written by a child, and they were written by a child in a language that this child made up with their friends, and they don't, and they're children, so they wrote it bad, and they can't erase it and do it again because it's carved into stone. So it's all fucked. These kids fucking wrote in some pillar, and it got fucked, and they can't redo it because it's in a pillar. I'm kind of behind. Whatever. Yeah. And one of these kids was like deeply innately magical, so he's got some cool magical powers, basically. Yeah. I also have out of the snow covering the ruins grows special flora that have adapted to cold, weird magical properties pertaining to the cold. So some cool ice flowers. I think that's cool, right? Any questions about the ruins of Elf and why the people there were dumb and decided to settle next to the frozen wasteland? The answer to that question is because I made them do it. Because I'm evil. And I like watching my characters suffer. If you have any questions, I'll stop the talk on the next subject about it. The next subject being the Clockwork Tower. That one's attached to a lot of things, actually. The Clockwork Tower. It's a big old tower, big old vast tower with I imagine it like a cathedral, kind of, where it's got a big body, but it also has a tower. And the tower is just what it got named after. Yeah. It holds many secrets, like the second Grand Arcana, which is a whole bag of worms that I don't want to get into right now because it's got so much lore to it, and it's also way down at the bottom of the document. But yeah, there that one. The second Grand Arcana, it's got the Time Holders Observatory, where the strongest chronomancer would study and hone their craft, which I believe to be, and when I say I believe to be, mean this is what it is. It is the Divine Wizard. Is that what his fucking name is? Or his title? Or whatever it is? The Divine Wizard. Yep. The Divine Wizard. Who's just like a dude associated with fucking everything. But yeah. He's got to do with everything because he's the greatest fucking magic user and has lived essentially forever. Yeah. I've been sitting down for so long. I've been sitting down way before this went live, working on this before, and then my computer shut off. What can a chronomancer do? Chronomancy is the study of uh is the magic of time. So it's like that's why it's the clockwork tower, because it's got a big clock. Uh so stop time, go back in time, whatnot. Uh if you want a really great I assume since you just asked what a chronomancer is, you haven't seen Fantasy High by on Dimension 20. I do recommend it. It's just a real cool fuck, I don't remember what it is. It's suburban fantasy. So, most of the world's big old classic fantasy land, and then they have one nation that's just not modern, but like 90s ish, I think. I don't know. I'm fairly young in the grand scheme of things. Uh, but like 90s ish. Oh, it's John Hughes. It's fantasy mixed with John Hughes high school movie. Uh, that's what Brennan Lee Mulligan describes it as. So that's what I'll describe it as. But and he'll do a much better job of explaining it than me. Not what a chronomancer is, which I just looked down and remembered. That's your original comment. Chronomancers are just time wizards. They fuck with time. And that's kind of it. Not a ton to them, but still incredibly powerful. Because time and whatnot. Excuse me. But yeah. So yeah, strongest chronomancer studied there on their craft. The automatons arena, which is essentially, and most I would assume you could guess by the name, but like a big old arena where mechs fight, because that's fucking cool as hell, and I wanted it to be there. That's basically it. Most of these things boil down to, hey, that's cool, and I want it. It's cool, and I want it in my world, so I'm gonna put it there, right? There's also the temporal gardens, where you can see a plant grow, die, and everything within the span of minutes. A minute. That's what I have written down there. You can live its entire life within a minute. So, that's cool. But yeah. So there's also the Temporal Cafe, which is, nice little homey not campaign, cafe, little homey cafe, coffee shop sort of vibe, where time slows down and then you can just hang out and talk without, wasting much time. It's just kind of cool. Just a kind of cool thing that I made up. I probably didn't make it up. I probably stole it from something. But maybe not. Who knows? I don't remember. It's been a while. Hour corners. There's also the final noteworthy location within the Clockwork Tower, the Hourglass Atrium. I don't remember what atrium means. I wrote it down and it immediately left my brain on what an atrium is. So, you know what? Fuck it. Atrium. Interior skylit court usually located at the center of a building and often surrounded by multiple stories. Cool. Yeah, it's just a big old house or a big old room with an hourglass in it. Hence the name Hourglass Atrium. But the cool thing about this hourglass is that it flows upwards. So the sand goes up because of magic, I guess. And I assume what happened when everything gets to the top is that it would flip around and then everything would start falling back up to the top again. Because that's what would generally happen. Right? You take an hourglass, it all gets to the bottom and then you flip it over and then it all races to the bottom again. But in reverse this time, because it's flowing backwards. That look good? That looks good enough. It's 12:30. I think what we're gonna do for this one is I'm gonna finish Astronaut. I'm gonna go to Dynacurd. We're gonna do Dynacurd, and then I'm gonna end the stream because it's 12:30 and I want to sleep. But also, if we do up to Dynacurd, we'll have all the Taurens to do next stream whenever I decide to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow night. I think it's a definite maybe tomorrow. It's a definite maybe tomorrow. I'm not going to say the same time because this was a odd time to do it. I did it as soon as I got everything ready, which took a while because my computer's hella slow. Anyways, do you have any questions on the Clockwork Tower? Because if not, we can just skip to the next thing. I think I'll just do a couple of these and then I'll look down, see if you've said anything. If you haven't, we can go to the next one. If you've said, like, hey, let's go to the next one, we'll go to the next one. You know, stuff like that. But yeah. So fucking tedious. UTC 8. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, and I don't think I've said it. So if you could just tell me what that means, I'd be grateful to know what it means and what you're talking about. I'm in California. I'm in whatever time zone that one's in. I don't know time zones a ton. If you can't tell, I've put like a ton of my knowledge into this, like a couple fantasy worlds, and then everything else has left me by the wayside. So yeah. Seems like you don't have any questions about the Clockwork Tower, you know. So let's just get on to the Rotting Sanctum. We'll do that, and then that should fill us up on the time for we have with Astronaut, and then we can go on to Dynacurd, which actually has the most landmarks in it. That was all of the tower. It's kind of just like a cool tower with lots of rooms that also do some cool things, but there's not a ton with the tower itself. I guess the rooms are the tower, but you know. Yeah, the Rotting Sanctum, a previously awe-inspiring temple that studied magical items. It's presumed that, and by presumed again, I mean I'm the god and I can say what did and didn't happen. The study of these artifacts led to the start of the Spellrot Plague. But yeah, all of that was in the tower. I misread your question. Sorry. Yeah, all that's in the tower. Big old tower. It's just a big old tower with lots of stuff in it. Yeah. The Rotting Sanctum. This is a separate building from the tower. This is not the tower. Yeah. It's I think it's I don't think I put a location on this one. I have not. All right. All right. Um let me just scroll down. So it's just at like the top of my page. All right. Didn't need to scroll down there. That one goes. Um Big old cathedral like building. It studied magical items. Uh One of the magical items broke and spell rot happened. And it was bad. It was bad for pretty much everyone. Because, fighters, like really good fighters, could go on their own without a mage. But, that's like the top, the peak of the peak, which, not a ton of people are in any sense of the word. So, spell rot was just a bad time for everyone. It killed lots of people, but also some places will also rely on their magic to help their ecosystem and economy and other things that magic would help with. But yeah. But yeah. When what the fuck? Where am I? Spellrot mostly stayed confined to Aslarnot, which is why they did become so technologically advanced because they couldn't rely on magic because they had, Spellrot. They had a big old bad thing happening, so they couldn't. Um, but yeah, Spellrot normally only affects mages, and by only mages I mean just people who have magical abilities, not even buildings that are enchanted with magic. However, when Spellrot first started, assumedly, right? Does it say assumedly? Because I don't know. Uh, but when it first started and the cathedral broke, or not, when the artifact broke, the cathedral-like building, the temple, the sanctum, whatever you want to call it, and the scientists and researchers who were some magic, some not magic, all died, all destroyed. That's what happened. It's bad. It's all real bad. It's all bad. That one works. Um. Yeah. Yeah. They haven't told the public why it happened, but you know, there's been some conspiracies and whatnot that happen, as is with everything. Some conspiracies happened, and you know, people assumed, and you know, some conspiracies have to be right. You know, so someone probably guessed it. Who did it? Who knows? It was fucking so long ago. Let's see. Spellrot started in the 78th century of written media in this world. The 78th. Yeah. Yeah. And we're currently in like the 92nd. So, you know, uh, there are some speculations to why it happened. You know, uh, which one of them is correct? Who knows? I haven't decided. Some say there's like a demon in the artifact, and this demon got out, killed, and destroyed the lab, and then set a plague upon the world. Um, Others say that the researchers aggravated Yadrith, who, if you will remember, is the god that the people of the Darnic Kingdom prayed to before the Gloomspire chambers were emptied out. Not emptied out, but put off limits. The god of pain. And they brought pain upon the world. So, who knows? We have like 2 things left here, so I'm just going to finish this off and yeah, and then we can get on to the next one. Yeah. If you have any questions about the Rotting Sanctum, I'll answer them. I've looked up here. Top. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Is the plague still around? No, it was ended fucking somehow. Who knows? I haven't decided. Which is basically what I've said for a lot of things. It's not around. It was ended by some adventuring party somewhere. Yeah. I should stop just picking whichever ones are on top, because some of these things are really cool and are at like the very bottom. Whatever. We're on to Dyna Kurd, which is one of the reasons I thought I should change the name of the Darnic Kingdom, because goddamn are they so similar. And by similar, I mean they both have DIR in them somewhere. Yeah. So let me just get down to Dyna Kurd, where we can, and then we can talk about Dyna Kurd. That one's cool. That one, maybe? Kind of cool. That one's cool. These 4 are fine. That one's fine. All right. So we're definitely talking about. I'm just marking down what I'm going to talk about. So, shit. This one. That. You can talk about this one. And I suppose these ones. So those are real quick and easy. All right. On to Dyna Kurd. All right. Ugh. I'm very tired and my back hurts a lot because I've been hunched over. All right. Anyways, Dyna Kurd. What I have written down is that Dyna Kurd has the most ruins/temples in the world. It was home to all the godlike, the dragon gods, in whichever way you want to interpret that. We're going to start with the first dragon god, and then not talk about the dragon gods. And if we'll probably have to talk about the other dragon gods. That's probably what we're going to have to do. And yeah, because the 4 later dragon gods are kind of lame. And by kind of lame, I mean they're ripped straight from D&D. All right. So the first quote-unquote dragon god, because they weren't referred to as the dragon god, they were referred to as the Wyvern King, and that would be Izek, which is Izhekk. And he resided in Izek's Cradle, which is it's one of, like, I would love for this world to be made into a game. And I have a great idea of what Izek's Cradle would look like when you first enter. And you get like a cool scenic view in like a little cutscene or whatever. I have a really cool, because it looks awesome in my head and idea. In my brain. It's at the farthest north. It's at the farthest north point of Dyna Kurd, in the middle of 3 concentric rings of valleys, each multiple miles long. So I don't know how to describe it best. So it's a valley that stretches. So imagine you have a ring, a circle, and then that circle is pushed into the ground and is multiple, and it's just like, it's not a filled in circle, it's just the outline of a circle. I don't think I have a drawing software on this computer. Here, I'm gonna draw it on my phone, and okay, no, I'm not. I will make a drawing of it before next stream, and I'll show you the stream then. If you're here, you'll see it. If you're not, you won't. But basically, 3 concentric circles. I don't have MS Paint on this. You know what? Fuck it. We're fucking drawing it on my phone. Whatever. I'll switch to Facecam and show you specifically, I guess. I think it is only you. All right. It's not going to be pretty by any means. Let's see. Shit. I had an eraser on. Circle. No, not that. Circle. You're going to have to bear with me while I try to execute this with my bad art skills. I'm using the circle tool, and it's all bad anyways. This is one of the reasons I'm using a map software and not just building things on my own. All right. Shit. This one. All right. Can you see that? I think you can see that. So basically, fuck. How am I? So, God, there's not a great way to show this on my phone. All right, whatever. This is the best we're gonna get. So that is multiple miles long. There's that, which is normal ground, then multiple miles long, normal ground, and multiple miles long again. It's not great. My phone's not huge, and to make it correct, I would have to do such small circles. Did it? I'm not up to the speed. All right. Now we can go back to this. But I hope you at least get the point that it's just a valley that's multiple miles long, flat ground, another valley, flat ground, another valley. And then instead of being flat ground, it's actually huge mountains. So that's cool. It's really cool and really awesome. And we're going to go way over 1 o'clock. All right, it's whatever. I'm going to finish Dynacurve, and then we're going to be out of here because I want to sleep. I'm tired. Anyways. Yeah. So it's just a pain in the ass to get in because you have to have like a really good teleportation spell to get in, or you have to be able to fly, which, not a ton of people can do. Where was I? If you do manage to get inside Izek's lair, you're greeted to a beautiful scene. In the center of this lair, which is inside a big circle of mountains, there's a big old statue of a wyvern carved out of stone. Where was I? Where the fuck? So there's the Ring of Mountains. There's a taller mountain in the very middle, and it's been carved to look like a wyvern perched on its tail. So it's kind of like in an S shape, really weird S shape. Inside the head, quote unquote, head of the mountain is a magical item called the Wyvern King Skull, which I could pull up the stats for, but I don't want to, so I'm not going to. But yeah. Where was I? Which is a bracelet made out of Izek's skull, because Izek, despite being the Wyvern King, was a tiny creature in D&D standards, which is what most of this is going to use because it's made for D&D. You know? You get me? It's going to be a lot of D&D standards because it was made for D&D. Only those chosen by Izek can wear it, which, and I do plan to have one of my players get it because it's a cool magic item that is cool and awesome. But yeah. Where was I? Within the two wings of the statue are cores, which are, I'm going to say, portals, kind of. Portals that only let things out and don't let things in. A one-way portal. A one-way portal to the primeval plane, which is just the elemental plane. I just wanted to give it a fancy name, so I gave it a fancy name. To the primeval planes of dirt and wind, which I need to change again because I think I changed them to air and earth. Wind and earth. I didn't change wind, but earth. So let's just change that right now, since I've already decided we're going over 1 o'clock. Earth. Plane of earth and wind. Yeah. So those are in the two wings. Underneath the statue is a crystalline pool of magical. I was fucking on something when I wrote this. A cool crystal pool made of water. It's an actual pool. It just looks like crystals. Just a cool describing word. Because what I wrote down is underneath the statue is a crystalline pool of magical cleansing pool that enhances the abilities of anyone who soaks in the water for long enough, which I do think is going to happen. I don't think that's right. It's just not a magical cleansing pool. It's not a pool of magical cleansing pool. And I'm not going to reword it because I don't want to. I'll reword it at some point if I remember. Yeah. Where was I? Yeah, you get powers such as resistance to magic, which is magic resistance from D&D. Because once again, it's going to be D&D stuff because base for D&D. Where was I? Extra peripheral senses, which is some bullshit to just give you cool extra. It's just a bullshit way to give people cool extra stuff. I love giving people cool extra stuff. Or communication with the wyverns that formerly lived at Izek's cradle, right? And I'm not going to describe that one because that one's easy. Currently, the Wizards of High Grade, which is a magical, not magical school type thing, but a magic guild, wizard guild that I built for the sole reason of I was watching a Dungeon Dudes video on what would happen with a party of wizards, and I thought, hey, that would be cool. So I implemented a way for there to be a party of wizards somewhere, and that's why that's there, which is fine. It's cool. Um, but they occupy the lair, but only as of fairly recently. Before High Grade was in the picture, the Wyverns were one of the most powerful forces in all of Shorn Death. You know, basic fantasy stuff. It doesn't necessarily make sense, right? Because there's absolutely no way a town of dragons, which Wyverns are, they're just dragons without forearms. The dragons where their wings are their arms. So, you know. Yeah. Yeah, because it just doesn't make sense because they'd be too big and would have to eat too much. That's basically why it doesn't make sense. In case you were wondering. Um any questions on Isek's Cradle? Or Isek the Wyvern King, I guess, also? And that also falls into that. This is it's a tedious process to make a map this way, but it's gonna look pretty cool, kind of, when I finish it. While you're thinking of a question or just waiting for me to get on to the next thing, we're gonna get to the Crooked Crystal Courtyards of Count Creeth, which is very fun because, and it's only something that I can see, but it's Crooked Crystal Courtyards of Count Creeth, which is 4 C's in a row and then a K, right? If I just said it, it wouldn't mean anything because it's like, oh, that's kind of illiterate. Or no, not illiterate. Fuck. I don't remember the word. Is it illiterate? Illiterate, I think. Yeah, illiterate, not illiterate. I don't know why. Why do they make words so close together that mean different things almost entirely? Because I feel the same thing about taffy and toffee. Because sometimes I'm going to Knott's Berry Farm with my parents, and they're like, "Hey, we want to get you something," and I'm like, "Rad, can I have some toffee?" And I'm like, "Toffee, okay." And then what I really mean is taffy. I don't English language is dumb. English language is very, very dumb. Anyways, the Crooked Crystal Courtyards of Count Creeth is a castle built to cover the entirety of the island off the coast of Dynic Herd. So maybe that one, maybe something over here. Who knows? We'll do it whenever we do it. Yeah. Even though the name might suggest it to be built with a structural tilt in mind, it has become crooked as an aspect of disrepair and multiple centuries of decay. So it's not built crooked, it's just fucked up and abandoned. I think it's just ice in my water bottle at this point, which sucks. Because I'm not going to leave when we're so close to finishing. So I'll get water after stream's over. Should have gotten water before it started. I just didn't realize I had so little. The courtyards are built extremely vertical, cascading yards on top of on top. No, cascading yards with an enormous fortress built on top. Right. What's the best way to do that? I'm not going to draw anything. Imagine the same drawing I did earlier with the for Izek's Cradle, but instead of it going valley up, it's just up, 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 and it just keeps going up. Just imagine that, because I already deleted the drawing. It was a bad drawing, anyways. There's no need for it. Shit. And then there's also a big old fort on top, which is pretty cool, because I thought there should be a fort on top, so I put a fort on top, and that's basically how stuff happened. Yeah. Where were we? The once pristine halls of these plazas are now chipped and cracked, yet retaining a haunting beauty that fascinates those that visit. So, normal stuff that you'd find in an abandoned house, kind of abandoned mansion, I suppose, specifically. Very similar, I suppose, to that the Rosewood Manor, but also not really. No. Here. The gardens, now overgrown, host vines that entangle those that walk by. I need to pick something here, just to pick something there. That one. Those that walk by, and bushes that pierce explorers. In each of the yards, a special fountain sits. These fountains are only known as the corrupted fountains, and it's believed that they are the house. What the fuck did I write here? It is believed that they are the house of the falling of this immaculate estate. I don't know what the fuck I was on. I was on something, and now I don't know what I wrote. Anyways, if you have an idea, please tell me. I believe I meant reason. I don't know why I wrote house. Unless I was doing something else and house came up. I was watching like a video and house came up and then that happened. But yeah. Any questions on the crooked crystal courtyards of Count Karith? I'd be happy to answer anything. Obviously, don't feel obligated to, but if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. Love talking about my world. It's pretty cool. If I do say so myself. Yeah. Doesn't seem like there's any questions. So we'll be going on to the 4 Draconic runes. These Draconic runes are for Io, Tiamat, Bahamut, and Sardior, which, if you don't know, are just the 4 cool big dragons of D&D. Tiamat, which most people, I assume most people know who Tiamat is, but if you don't, they're the I think technically, quote unquote, goddess of the chromatic dragons. They got 5 heads, one for each of the colors. Black, white, green, red, blue. Yeah. And they're also technically, or at least they're supposed to be, or she is supposed to be. Sorry, I needed to just pick something there. She's supposed to be one of the rulers of the 9 hells, but she's not here because she's dead. All of them, all dragon gods are dead. All of them. Not because I don't like dragons, but because I like dragons so much that I wrote lore for 5 dragons and killed all of them. Right? I know Antonio D'Amico. I love dragons. Shout out to Pointy Hat. If you get that. Oh, do they exist outside of D&D? I haven't heard of them otherwise. But also, I'm super just into D&D and not much else. I guess anime. Uh, Bahamut is I think Bahamut's a dude. Could be wrong. Or dude dragon or whatever he is. God of the the metallic dragons who are, but he doesn't have 5 heads, so he's not as cool. No, he's platinum instead of one of the 5 things, which could be something, and it could just be, hey, platinum's a cool rare metal. I wouldn't put it past them. Just do. Oh, yeah, I think I might have heard that somewhere before. I think maybe. But also, I'm just going to keep sounding like a dumbass. So let's say I didn't, to keep my facade of dumbassery up. But yeah, we're almost done with this. But I'll finish this and then we're not doing anything else. I'll switch to Facecam and we'll talk about the Draconic Ruins. Sardior is the god of the gem dragons, who are, I think, objectively the best dragons just by stats wise, because they have, one of them has a fucking force breath, which is broken as hell because it's force damage. But yeah, all right, there we go. There's Dynacurd built. You're gonna hear a bit of creaking from my chair. All right, Dynacurd's been built. We're gonna switch to Facecam. We're here. We're in Facecam. You're very close to me because if you weren't, there would be so much background noise from something. I don't know what. But basically, we're here. We're in Facecam. I'm not up to there. There we go. Yeah. We're gonna move this over to this one so I can just full screen it. I'm gonna take this stuff out. Give me just a second to. I guess I'm gonna actually save this. Save local. Download it. We're just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for this to download. All right, it says it's downloaded. We're gonna check files. That's opening down here. That's fine. It's whatever. Downloads. Map. Okay. Today at 1:08 a.m. That makes sense. That's good. All right. We're all good. I'm gonna close out this one up here. All right. And we're here. We're here. I thought this one can go up here. So I'm looking at everything up here. All right. Put this up to there. All right. Chat's up there. Lore's down here. And now we're good. We're good. All right. What the fuck? I don't know what's going on. There we go. That's good. And Io, who is the god of, who is the, I think, father, parental figure to the other dragons, to like Bahamut, Sardior, Tiamat. Yeah. He's like the father figure, the parental one. I don't know. He's just a big, cool one who has a 2-letter name, and I liked him in middle school. No, high school. I liked him in like sophomore year. So he's there. The Draconic Ruins of Io are, and they're all gonna start out this way at the large opening to a cave with yada, yada, yada. So Eos is precious metal ores, valuable gems, colorful natural items. Because, he's the god of all of them, So metal ores, valuable gems, colorful natural items. That just covers all three. I'm way over to the side. But let's just, there. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Tiamat, large opening to a cave with what would be very lush, colorful items. However, they're all grayscale, in stark difference to the ruins of Io. Anyone who walks inside of the Eo's ruins, and I think I'm saying that right. I'm saying it how I've said it for a while. If I'm wrong, who knows? Anyone who walks inside these ruins senses a distant hum of magic and creation. Because, magic shit. Tiamats are, like I said, lush, colorful items, all grayscale somehow. How are they grayscale? Fucking magic. Why are they grayscale? Because Tiamat's a bitch. In the most kind way ever, Tiamat's a bitch. In stark difference to the ruins of Io, these ruins are disturbingly silent. So, real just quiet. Bahamut, precious metal ores, they all have what they would have, right? What relates to them, right? Colorful items, metal ores, gems. Some adventurers that traverse into the ruins are said to be granted the powers of Bahamut and riches beyond one's wildest dreams, because they get the metal, they get the ores, they get the gold, the silver, the whatever other fucking dragons there are. Sardior, gems. A few gems decorating the walls of the cave are said to hold the powers of the ancient gem dragons that served at Sardior's side. It is really cool, really awesome, and it's fucking 1:15, and I'm so tired. I'm gonna just really quick deselect everything, make sure it's not highlighted, so I don't wonder why it's highlighted. Since we're here right now, we're gonna, where the fuck did it say pools of pools? Fuck. Water. This is gonna change to water. I don't know why I capitalized it. I kept doing it. If you have any questions, I'll be taking questions for the next 2 minutes from me, and then I'm ending stream because then it will be 1:15, actually. And I'm tired. Yeah. Also, don't like and subscribe. I should say that, right? That's the YouTuber thing. You tell them to like and subscribe, and they do it. I think. Any questions? Any questions? I actually don't need this anymore. Yeah, because I can tell that I have good connection. It's been good all stream, aside from like once at the beginning. But I should be good, I think. Let me just check something. All right. Everything looks good, and I don't need that up anymore. All right. Any questions? 1 more minute, and then I'm ending stream. Unless there's a question that makes me go over. If you just don't have any questions, you can say you don't, and I will end stream because I'm tired and I want to go to sleep. Kind of up to you guys, though. At some point in the near future, there will be a video coming out on the, what the fuck did I call it? A comprehensive travel guide to Trinifale from NADPOD. If you care about that, cool. If you don't, also cool. It's 1:15. I'm gonna go. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good night. Rest your day. My mouse is up there. Night. Rest your day. Whatever you want. Like and subscribe.